Am I the asshole for telling neighbor's wife why I stopped hanging around their kids? I, 27M, just moved into my new house a couple months ago in a nice neighborhood. It was a house my late uncle was renting out and left it to me. The neighbors next door have 2 kids ages 8 and 11. When I first moved in, I started taking up painting outside. Not a professional, but I used to love it in high school, so I decided to try again since I'm not really busy with work and have the free time. The boys would notice me outside in the afternoons, and the eldest asked me once if they could borrow my paint so they can make something too. And that's where it started. I'm a kids guy and hoped to have my own one day, so I let them start coming over to paint after they were done with school. We got along great and they enjoyed learning how to paint. Their mom hangs around when I'm outside with them to look at their work, and I'd chat with her. This has been an everyday thing for the last couple of months. Well, until a few weeks ago when the dad approached me. This is the second time I've seen him since I moved. He never leaves the house even when they do. He was really mad because he didn't appreciate me flirting with his wife in front of his own house. And also doesn't like that I'm using his kids just to talk to her. This caught me by surprise. I've never behaved in any way that would be inappropriate around her. Most of our talks are about her kids or everyday stuff. I did try to explain and apologize if I crossed any lines, but he just said to keep my distance from his family. So that's what I ended up doing. When the kids would come over, I'd tell them that I'm stuck with work stuff. It makes me sad to bum them out, but I didn't want to overstep with their dad. Then on Friday, neighbor's wife came out while I was watering my lawn. She said she hopes they didn't bother me too much and was sorry if they took up so much of my time. It's because she thought I stopped having the kids over because I was tired of them or something. I didn't want her feeling bad since it probably seemed that way with how I abruptly ended the painting sessions. So I told her that her husband didn't seem happy about it and he asked me to keep my distance. Didn't go into details, I only said I didn't want to upset him. It was obvious she didn't know from her reaction, but she thanked me for telling her. But that just seemed to make things worse because he came at me this morning even worse than before. He was beyond pissed that I told her anything, and now it's my fault they had a fight. Now I feel awful. I really hate conflicts, and the last thing I wanted was to make my new neighbors hate me for causing them issues. Thinking back now, should I have told her anything? I really didn't want any issues but ended up doing that anyways. Was I the asshole for the way I handled things here and causing them problems? Not the asshole. He was beyond pissed that I told her anything, and now it's my fault they had a fight. Yeah, nah. The reason they had a fight is because he's a possessive and insecure small man who lets their paranoia hurt the relationships of his wife and kids. I'm sorry that this has happened to you, but more sorry for his family. Even if you are the first person he has driven off, you will not be the last. You letting her know means she knows what is going on, as opposed to being kept in the dark by her husband. Edit. Someone pointed out my original spelling of N. A would count as a judgment contradicting my original judgment. Not the asshole. Her husband could have addressed this with his partner directly. Instead, he wanted to play sneaky and pull some macho shite on you without having to actually address his own wife. That means he knows it's wrong, at least on some level. She needed to know. Don't take it personally. Chances are the dude was threatened because he envies the time you spend with his family. Not the asshole. The husband is trying to control his wife in a roundabout manner. Instead of talking to her like a grown-up and having an actual conversation, he's jumped to his own conclusion and felt the need to mark his territory. Absolutely ridiculous. She's allowed to talk to another guys, especially a neighbor who is entertaining their kids. It's good that she knows he went behind her back, and if there are any conflicts, he brought it on himself. I'm sorry you and the kids got stuck in the middle of it. Hopefully he'll relax and you can go back to the way things were. But until then, I'd stay clear of them. He sounds aggressive. Better safe than sorry. You spent time with neighbor children who approached you and made polite conversation with their mother when she approached you, were respectful of the father's wishes. Were truthful when approached by the mother. You monster. Yeah, no. Not the asshole. This guy's issues are not your problem. He wasn't going to like you simply on the grounds that you exist. Not the asshole. Her husband is, at best, a huge a-hole, and at worst, a potential domestic abuser. In either case, I can guarantee you're not the only friend he's shooed away from his wife. She deserved to know about this behavior. Not the asshole. It's not your job to keep anyone else's secrets. If he didn't want his wife to find out what he said to you, he shouldn't have said anything in the first place. He just sounds like a jealous a-hole with anger issues. Not the asshole one. You are doing nothing underhand or secret in your painting, chatting with kids or the mother. 2. The father had no right to threaten you and expect your confidence in that fact. 3. Your neighbors seem to have an issue, and as much as I do not think you are the asshole, I do think it might be helpful to not be quite as welcoming as you were before. Let them have their issues without you being the focus for them. Not the asshole. The husband didn't specifically tell you not to tell his wife about your conversation, you didn't cross any lines, and everybody seemed happy while they were painting with you. You're just trying to let the kids have a fun time and socialize with your neighbors. Not the asshole. You need to protect yourself though. Install cameras around your house, don't leave your car out at night, etc. This guy sounds like a controlling loose cannon husband who has made it very clear he is okay with threatening or intimidating you. Make sure to document all these instances in case he tries something or tries to say you hurt his kids, etc. Hard. Not the asshole. That woman needs a divorce lawyer. Not the asshole. Dude is acting extremely insecure and being a schmuck. That being said, probably in your best interest to stay away anyway. It sucks, but you never know what some crazy a-hole may do. Let's see, you were just painting with the kids that were being supervised by their mom, until the dad tells you that he thinks that you are flirting with his wife. You tried to explain and apologize, but he decided to add a line which you cannot cross. You respect it, and when the boys come you have to tell them that you are busy because you don't want to cross the line the dad set. When the mom asks, you just tell her the truth. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. The husband is shifting the blame for his actions onto you. The wife is mad that he told you to keep your distance. Not that you told her about it. He's basically like, well, my wife wouldn't be mad at me if I didn't caught. He sounds like a jealous jerk who's insecure after and mad that someone is spending time with his kids while he's doing whatever else. He should chill out and address his personal problems instead of blaming a friendly neighbor and keeping things from his wife. Not the asshole. Sounds like you were above board with everything and tried to respect his boundaries. This is something they need to work out between themselves. Sorry you got stuck in the middle. Skeptical smiley face. Not the asshole. Neighbor husband sounds insecure and paranoid. I would watch out, the potential for violence is there. Not the asshole. You were not explicitly told to keep it a secret, so you didn't owe him a damn thing. You did not cause a conflict. This is all on the husband. He let his insecurity and apparent lack of trust in his wife get to him, and he then decided to be an alpha male. If he had tried to have an actual conversation about it instead of puffing out his chest, then maybe the fight with his wife wouldn't have happened. Not the asshole, and she needed to know so she can be aware of what he's pulling behind her back. People hiding crappy behavior from women seriously puts them at risk. I'm sorry you're in a bad position because of it, but on multiple levels it was the right choice. Not the asshole. It seems that your neighbor may be a bit insecure with you talking to his wife and kids. This could be because he is in general an insecure man, or it could be because you are new in the neighborhood and he doesn't know what to think of you yet. Just make sure not to step on any boundaries and respect his decisions if he ever decides that his kids shouldn't hang out with you anymore. Not the asshole. Her husband is projecting. He thinks you're flirting because that's what he would do. He probably can't imagine why a man would talk to a woman without flirting. You did nothing wrong. He couldn't even talk to his wife about his jealousy problem, so this couple had issues before you arrived in the picture. Not the asshole. Her husband is a controlling douche canoe and you would be giving him what he wants by keeping silent. Abusers win when everyone stays silent. Not the asshole. The husband is in this situation. You shouldn't be expected to lie for him to cover his ass. If he was behaving reasonably, then he would have not had an issue with his wife knowing. You sound like me. I'm an honest guy and live in a glass house for the most part. His wife asked, you told her the truth. Honestly, I won't lie. It kind of pissed me off reading this post. Mainly because, A, you're not doing anything wrong, and B, you're at your own fucking house. Once I realized you was at your own house basically minding your own business, I felt explosive. I would have told that dude to fuck off and eat shit. And #X200B. Not the asshole. He comes over your house again, you need to stand up for yourself. Don't fear the reaper. NTA. Dude is on some machismo bullshit. She should know what kind of man she's with. No, the husband caused a fight and crushed something that made his kids happy. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. The husband is trying to control his wife and is jumping to conclusions probably due to his own insecurities, and she does deserve to know that her husband is attacking some random guy. Plus you aren't doing anything wrong, you're just painting with the kids. Not the asshole. The husband is. He is extremely insecure and paranoid. He's also trying to isolate his wife and kids. Be careful. He might be dangerous. Not the asshole. But I had to admit, you wasted an excellent opportunity to get back at the husband. Husband. Stop painting outside. Op. I'm on my property. Husband. Stop using my kids to flirt with my wife. Op. You're the parent, tell your kids you no longer want them to come over and explain your wife why. Still, you complied with your neighbors. But if he expects everybody to act like in middle school, or to be able to control his wife, news flash, he is a grown-ass adult, and jealousy is not a very desirable trait in grown-ass adults. Not the asshole. First, when you told the truth you did her good service. She would otherwise blame herself and tried to guess where she have done wrong. Or started to teach kids to keep more distance thinking they are annoying. In fact, she read your clues right, you enjoyed their company. Plus, knowing what husband really done is good for her. He came back angry to you, because it helped her to recognize his control. Covering for him is low-key enabling gaslighting. In situations like this, truth is best. Not the asshole. You only told her the truth. Not the asshole. Hard. Not the asshole. That neighbor is way out of line and sounds pretty unstable. Not the asshole. If this was your very first interaction with the husband, then he has a total lack of perspective and decency. You don't get to sit back and watch behind the curtains for 2 months, then confront someone you barely know over something they're not even doing. If he sees you spending time with them, why doesn't he join? He doesn't mind being absent but doesn't want them socializing with other people either. The worst part is that in his eyes, he doesn't believe that his kids have any merit beyond being used in some weird game of seduction. If he had taken the time to know you, and interact, and still felt that you were crossing some boundaries, then it would be worth some thought, but this just sounds controlling and insecure. Definitely not the asshole. And the husband sounds like a tool. He's just upset that his wife is more impressed by you than by him, and instead of stepping up and being a better father he starts pointing fingers at others. Not the asshole. They had a fight because he is jealous and controlling. That has nothing to do with you. Not the asshole. This man is delusional. Your only mistake was to apologize to him. You've done nothing wrong. Not the asshole. This guy sounds like 40% of cops if you catch my drift. Not the asshole. You spent some time with the neighbor's kids with their mother present, immediately removed yourself when the father asked you to stop, and were honest about what happened when asked. I don't think you did anything wrong. Not the asshole. His jealousy and their marital problems are not your business or concern. You cleared up her misconception and moved on with your life. You're not required to keep secrets for some random neighbor dude. Seriously, you did nothing wrong. He seems like he needs some help, and maybe their marriage does too. Not the asshole. If he didn't want her to know what he said, he shouldn't have said it in the first place. Sue_. You didn't make them get into a fight, he did by not talking to his wife about his insecurity. Weak people, bullies, blame others for the consequences of their own actions. If he keeps harassing you, just keep on letting his wife know. If what he says is justified, there should be no issue in her knowing as well, right? Not the asshole. It's not your fault they had a fight, it's his. You only told the truth to clear things up with her so she wouldn't be left wondering. It's good for her to know that her husband is protecting her. Not the asshole. I never understand why people get mad about their actual behavior being talked about. All you did is tell his wife what he said. It's his fault that what he said was controlling and made him look like an ass. If there was nothing wrong with what husband did, then he would have let his wife know. You're not the asshole. The husband is a grade A1 though. Not the asshole. Fuck his wife for his impudence. Not the asshole. You sound like a really sweet guy. What did that shithead expect to happen when he tried to bully someone to avoid his family? Not the asshole. If the father's concerns were even slightly valid, he would and should have talked to his wife about it and not be embarrassed. The fact that he was called out is 100% his fault. Not the asshole. The father is. Not the asshole. This is an issue entirely of the husband's making. Not the asshole. That guy is an insecure asshole and you have nothing to be ashamed of. If he has issues with you, he probably has issues with just about any guy that talks to her. Don't blame yourself, his kids shouldn't have to pay a price for his jealousy. Not the asshole. Nope, you handled it exactly right. The husband seems to have some serious jealousy issues that he needs to deal with. His behavior is a pre-existing issue in their relationship and is 100% not something you caused. Keep a record of any interaction with him, as his anger and jealousy issues are massive red flags for domestic violence. Your neighbor definitely needs to be aware of her husband's attempts to harass and intimidate you. You did not start this conflict, his jealousy did. Not the asshole. He wanted you to seem like the bad guy. Not the asshole.